Alright, I just got these 2 packages in the mail today from Damn Designs, which is completing several of my pre-orders. And that's okay, but there's one in here that I'm particularly interested in getting my hands on, and that's the War Machine, the really heavy one. And I can't tell which package it's in, so I'm going to do a little Damn Designs unboxing here and see if I can find the War Machine and go from there. But we'll look at some of the others too while we're at it. So I'm going to set this one aside for a second and open up this one. And we got, this might be it right here. It's pretty heavy. That one's a little lighter. And that one's a little lighter still. And that one's pretty light too. So I might have already found the War Machine. Let's see if this is what it is. And there it is. The War Machine. Look at that big chunk of tungsten. Good Lord. It's heavy, but it's not too heavy. Turn it over and do it the other way. Yeah, there it is, the War Machine. So I'm going to test this one really fast and see just how well it does. Yeah, that is a big old fidget spinner. If you like heavy, there's about the heaviest one out there right now. So let me put this down and see what came with it. It's got an extra set of buttons and an extra bearing. It says 13 on it, so maybe it's number 13. Let's open up these other ones and see what we got in here. I think this is the Thunderbolt, if I remember the name of it. Stainless steel. It's the Thunderbolt, I think. That's pretty cool. Okay. Here's an extra bearing already falling out. Oh, there's no way I'm going to remember the name of this one. And it does not come with this little tritium sticks. That's okay. There's that one, and what's in here? This is the tri-spinner version of the Thunderbolt. I can't remember the name of it right off. Again, a stainless steel spinner. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so we got these three, and we have the War Machine right there. So I'm not even going to open up that other package because it's just more damn design spinners. I'll get to it later. I'm going to pack this up and start testing the War Machine. We'll just set these aside for now. There's the star of the show right there. Okay. So I tested the hell out of the War Machine here. I've got quite a bit of data to report on this one. I tested it with 3 different bearings. One, the one that came with it installed already. The other one that came with the with it not installed, and also an FC Essentials HC2. So I got completely different results for each bearing. For the original bearing, the bearing that came already installed, I got an average spin duration of 7 minutes and 8 seconds, which wasn't all that incredible. Mean variability of 99 seconds and an overall score of 7.5. For the subjectives, I gave them the same on each bearing. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Yeah, I gave it an appearance score of 8 and a feel score of 8 and a perceived quality of 9. So it spun with the original bearing. It got 9 minutes and 10 minutes vertically, and anywhere between 5 minutes and 20 seconds and 6 minutes and 30 seconds vertically. Or horizontally, excuse me. So an average spin duration of 7 minutes and 8 seconds, which wasn't incredible. Now for the other bearing, I had to pop out the bearing that was in there, which was not exactly easy. It was glued in, but they included another bearing with it. A bearing that says damned on the side of it, and had very few ball bearings in it. For that one, I got an average spin duration of 8 minutes and 31 seconds. Vertically, 10 minutes and 52 seconds and 8 minutes and 50 seconds. Horizontally, anywhere from 6 minutes and 51 seconds to 9 minutes and 12 seconds. And then I put in the FC Essentials bearing, the FDHC2, and I got an average spin duration of 10 minutes and 39 seconds with vertical scores of 15 minutes and 29 seconds and 13 minutes and 22 seconds. The horizontals came in anywhere between 7 minutes and 31 seconds and 9 minutes and 50 seconds. So that was obviously the best one. The FC Essentials bearing was the longest bearing. But the overall score for that one wasn't the highest. It only got an overall score of 6.65 because there was a lot of variability due to the fact that it got very long vertical spin duration. So probably the overall scores are not a very good measure on the quality of this particular spinner. So what was going on here? We got the same effect that we get with other spinners. If the spinner was spinning into the wind, like it was a buzzsaw going into the wind like this, it was getting longer scores than if it was spinning against the wind like that. It got a lot lower scores going this way. And this is the first time I've actually been able to get enough data to actually calculate that effect. I've seen it on a lot of other spinners, but spinning this way like a buzzsaw into the wind, it got an average spin duration across all three bearings, all the tests, of 9 minutes and 29 seconds. Spinning against, like this, 8 minutes and 4 seconds, which is, I'm sure if I ran the statistics on that, it would be very, very statistically significant. So there's something to do with the aerodynamics of this, spinning like that. You get a better spin time than spinning like this, basically. That said, the overall spin times on this thing were a little bit disappointing. We did get a 15-minute spin time on one trial. I put it through a lot of trials, by the way. It took me a long time to do this. This spinner is it's very heavy, so of course it's going to spin a long time, but it's not the most aerodynamic spinner in the world. It throws off a lot of air when while it's spinning, and if it was a more aerodynamic design, you'd get a lot better spin times. So that's basically the way it is with this thing. It's a really heavy spinner that's going to get long spin times, but not super long spin times because it's not very aerodynamic. Now, how does it really feel? This is probably the more important issue as to whether you're going to get one of these things. There are going to be a lot of people who are going to object to the weight of this thing. It's really heavy. And I wrote down the weight here somewhere, 314 grams by my scale. For me, that's not terrible, although I don't have the strongest hands in the world. But it's enough to give you a workout. If you want to work out your fingers, that's the way to go. Some people are just going to object and say this thing is way too heavy to play with. I don't think so. I think it's within reasonable limits. And I'd be happy to play with this for a while. In fact, I plan on carrying it around a little bit to see how I can adapt to it. But yeah, it's no doubt one of the heaviest spinners out there. I don't know of any others that are heavier except for that crazy multiple ball bearing thing that is not any good at all, really. So it's really useful, and it's a really useful thing. It's good for practice. It's good for just getting a it helps you work out your fingers. You know, it's a good thing to have, and it's not too heavy that it's an annoyance. But it's heavy enough that it causes some fatigue in your hands to play with. And it's a really cool gunmetal gray color. I haven't seen another spinner exactly this color, but it's definitely a gunmetal gray. I got number 13 here, by the way. It is engraved on the inside which number you got. I got number 13 from their production run. I'm really happy with it, though. I really think this thing is a nice thing to have. But like I said, if you're somebody who objects to really heavy spinners, it's not for you, you know. But if you would like to get a hold of a really heavy spinner, something that you can play with, that's good for you. But the bearings become an issue. Like I said, they give you a second bearing with it, but they make the first bearing very difficult to get out of the spinner. So it's not easy to change the bearing. The second bearing is better than the first one. And the FC Essentials HC2 is even better yet. And that's what I'm going to leave in here. So that's the War Machine by Damn Designs. Their heaviest one yet. For some reason, I think they're going to come out with something even heavier still down the road. So there it is. A very unique fidget spinner. All right, we'll see you later.